Hi, welcome back to Divine Cuisine. My cookbook here by Chef K, me, Ron Kalnick, and we're talking about how the bread of life and the bread for living coexist, go together. In this book, you'll find many recipes for a successful baking bread, but you'll also find recipes for a successful living of life. Yesterday, we saw how we began with our bread being mixed, and we put flour, water, yeast starter, sourdough starter, and salt. That's all into one mixer, and we mixed it for 7 minutes. Now you can do that as well by hand. So here's our results. We have a nice mixture of dough that we continue to mix and mix and mix. And once it's ready, you'll see it's nice and elastic. So what we want to do is we want to place it in our bowl. This is where our oil comes in. We don't use a lot of oil, just a little spray. We want to spray our boards with oil instead of flour. Many people dust the boards with more flour. Well, we have exact amounts of flour, exact amounts of water, exact amounts of starter, and an exact amount of salt in our dough. If we sprinkle the cutting board with more flour, we change those equations. So we want to get a little oil in it. The best way to do it is to spray the cutting board with the oil, and then put a little bit of oil in our bowl. Give it a quick turn so it covers, and then we cover that, and we're going to let that rest. Bread of life. There's a nice little bread covering that my granddaughter made me. I'm the bread of life, John 6:32. So thank you, Claire. You know, when we look at that dough, it's all now cohesive, it's all together. We can't separate it. You can't change your mind and say, well, now I want that flour for something else. I want to use the water in a different recipe. I need the salt for my soup. Can't do that. It's all in there now. It's because that all together is going to form our loaf, our promise, right? We told you yesterday, the Word of God is a promise. And that's how faith works. Once you apply that, you find the promise, you find the problem, you believe God for the answer, you can't be separated. It all come together for you, and it will continue to work on your behalf. As long as you put that trust and faith in the Word of God. Just as you did for the recipe for the chef, just as you're doing for me, as I'm teaching you how to do this, you're not standing side by side. Maybe I'm lying to you. That would be horrible. You were putting trust and faith in me, but most of you have never met me, right? I've seen Chef K, so I know what he says is true. I've seen God. I know what he says is true. How did I see God? I saw him in his word. I saw Jesus. And when you see Jesus, he's called the Word. In John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So when we see him, we can put our trust and faith in him. Now, once our bread is rested for 3 times every 30 minutes, you're going to take it out, you're going to fold it forward, fold it backwards, over, and give it a quick roll. Put it back in, rest it again 30 to 45 minutes. Do that 3 times. After that, you're going to want it to rest it 6 to 7 hours, and this bread will actually end up with a second roll, a third, a fourth roll, and then we're going to let it sit in our refrigerator overnight. That will enhance its flavor. It will bring out the crumb, and it will have a nice crisp crust when we bake it. So until the next time, when we show you the finished product, this is Chef K. Remember, Psalms 118:6 says, God is on your side. Bye now.